Greetings, greetings, greetings. I'm so excited. This is kicking off a new rendition of the Moving Camp podcast, and I'm excited to be able to have now what I can say is a good friend, a mentor of mine that's going to be coming and giving you some great information about what's getting ready to happen in an area that a lot of us are not pretty much aware of. So this is going to be a very exciting and impactful podcast, and I get to introduce, again, like I said, a friend, more especially a mentor, Sovereign Grand Inspector General Dr. Dwayne Thomas, who's going to come in here as the president of the Benevolent Foundation. So I'm going to bring you on here, sir, to be able to hang out here with us, and then we're going to knock this out. There we go. How you doing here today? I know we've been talking a while, but how's the day going for you, good sir?
Oh, everything's going very well, very well. I'm really
Good.
excited about this particular podcast.
Oh, well, like I said, there's going to be a lot going on from this case, and a lot of people are not going to be able to sleep because they're going to be excited about the work that we're doing. So I'm excited about it. So as I bring up the slides here for us to be able to see and go, we're going to have a conversation just like normal. All right. And we're just going to go back and forth. We got some information to pass along. Now, you are the president of Benevolent Foundation here for United Supreme Council. So if you don't mind me asking here, from what happened, what inspired you to take on the role of director, and like what unique perspective or energy do you plan on bringing to the foundation?
All right. Well, I see we're going to jump right in. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Knight Commander Barrett. Let me say before getting started, I want to just do a couple things. One, I want to say congratulations to you and the entire Media Relations Department
Thank
on
you.
the outstanding work your team did during our annual United Supreme Council session. You all performed admirably, and I can't tell you how proud I am of the time and effort your team put in and how dedicated they were to providing information to our membership through all of the social media posts, all the interviews, all the recordings, just absolutely outstanding and yeoman's work.
Thank you. Thank you.
The other thing I wanted to do, Knight Barrett, is I really want to congratulate you on completing 3 successful seasons of the Moving Camp podcast. And of course, this being the start of the season 4. You're really doing important work for our United Supreme Council. And I just want to commend you for that.
I
So,
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
absolutely, absolutely. So let me answer your question, which I think is a very interesting question. So let me just clarify for our membership. My role as the president of the Benevolent Foundation is an appointed position, not an elected one. So the current board of directors appointed me, and I gladly accepted the role. So now let me kind of address the main part of your question, which is about my motivation. I'm motivated to take on a role like this, the president of the Benevolent Foundation, because I strongly believe in the foundation's mission. Being a military person, I'm all about execution of mission, and I believe strongly in the foundation's mission. So the foundation's mission is to support children, veterans, families, and aging populations. And it provides this support through 3 main areas: education, healthcare, and what we call economic stability. So I've spent several years in various leadership roles that kind of blend public service and fraternal involvement. And I believe I bring a unique perspective to the Benevolent Foundation, one that combines what I call strategic vision, and I couple that with grassroots empathy. So, having worked with other nonprofit foundations, I think I have a good understanding of some of the challenges that nonprofit organizations face. And I also recognize that there's really untapped potential within our membership in our organization.
Mm.
So, As you know, our United Supreme Council is fully committed to improving our members' experience. We talk about that all the time. So therefore, from my lens, I plan to bring the energy kind of rooted in a few things: collaboration, transparency, and then what I call innovation, with a focus on developing programs that are measurable and what I call meaningful. And of course, they all have to align with our foundation's mission. So I know that's a long way to the answer, but I wanted to just clarify for the members how I ended up in this position and what was my motivation behind it.
No, and it's not long-winded at all. And I believe that anyone, especially in these type of organizations, they have to understand the why. If you understand the why, you can get behind somebody or an ideology and you can go through
Absolutely.
some of these things. And from what I'm seeing too, and I want to bring up because you spoke about some stuff that's going to be transitioning, right? So we're going to be doing, it sounds like some different foundation fundraising activities. So I want to know, like, kind of how do you see the foundation evolving beyond traditional fundraising? Like, what new opportunities or initiatives can some of the members be really excited about?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So let me preface all of this that we're in the planning stages
Mm.
of many of these things, and this is just kind of brainstorming with a few people on some things that we can do. So let me answer that question in that vein. Okay, so the Benevolent Foundation, as you know, they have a pretty impressive track record over the years, organizing fundraisers that support our mission. And I believe I could talk for about an hour or two if we really covered all of the initiatives that I've got in my brain planned for the Benevolent Foundation. But let me just take a few minutes to highlight just a couple key points. All right. So besides the kind of traditional gala style fundraising, we're planning to launch a series of what I call impact driven initiatives that will increase community engagement and really promote sustainable donations. So let me talk about those a little bit. These include things like giving circles, community giving circles, legacy endowments, cause specific campaigns, really focused specifically on urgent issues such as education and mental health, financial literacy. Each of these campaigns will be carefully planned to address key community needs by working with local schools, some health organizations, so the mental health organizations, and I plan to have the foundation work with other nonprofit groups, really dedicated to financial education. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Our education campaign will provide scholarships and mentorships to underserved youth, while something like our mental health initiatives can offer counseling services, awareness events, resources, provide resources, in vulnerable areas and communities. Um, an example of financial literacy campaign will include something like, we plan to look at workshops and providing digital toolkits and family planning sessions. And this is really to help individuals gain knowledge needed for long-term economic stability. And that's what we said we're about. So to support some of these campaigns and improve transparency and accountability, we really plan to launch a comprehensive digital engagement tool. That's a big, three big words, but essentially what we're talking about is it's essentially a donor impact dashboard that will provide real-time updates on our progress, our fundraiser progress, our resource distribution, and how we're measuring our outcomes for each of our initiatives. Another thing that, additionally, I would say, monthly spotlight series working with the media department, working with your department to highlight, personal stories, beneficiaries, updates from our partner organizations, excuse me, and some behind the scenes glimpses of our program work. So trust that I can go on, but these are some of the things that we're kind of looking at to kind of build on the great legacy that the Benevolent Foundation has and kind of take it to the next level.
No, and there's some things too, and hopefully the members are watching this out there, and you see that the direction that this foundation is going into, to me, it sounds a little bit more personalized and more directed towards its impact. Like that's what I'm hearing, that we're going to have very targeted measures. And I love anything that's with a metric because I like to see progress. And to me, it sounds like accountability. When you have this transparency, there's going to be a lot of accountability. And I just want to point out to members is that that's what you want to see, especially when you're dealing with this type of level of engagement. So that's awesome. I love it. And that kind of prompts me up to, because I'm kind of excited about it. I want to see kind of, can you share like one or two programs or goals that like highlight the foundation's impact that we've had in our community and like its mission, so people can see like, hey, this is where we're at, so you get an idea of where we're going.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this kind of blends into the previous question. So let me just talk. So one of the major programs, again, we're starting this now,
Mhm.
and I call it the Youth Achievement and Leadership Program. So essentially, what it is, um, it really aligns itself with some of the great work that the foundation has already done with our HBCUs.
Mm,
But this effort and this initiative is really designed to support these underrepresented students, especially those attending HBCUs, right? This program is going to go a little bit beyond just providing financial assistance and financial aid. Some of the things that we're thinking about, Barrett, is like offering a comprehensive support system that includes, leadership development, workshops, some career readiness training, and really some personalized mentorship from professionals and alumni leaders. So we have a tremendous amount of capability within the organization, and we're going to tap into that to provide better services for some of these students in underrepresented populations. So we plan to partner with educational institutions, some community organizations, to really put some meat on what I call the Youth Achievement Leadership Scholarship program.
mm,
And so these scholarships will prioritize students pursuing degrees, again, in line with our mission, education, healthcare, business, and public service. These are all areas where, as Black leaders, we can make a positive impact on our communities. So that's just one initiative. Another initiative deals with our veterans. And again, we're at the infancy stage, but we're looking at a veterans resiliency program, which I believe will be one of our flagship programs. It'll demonstrate our commitment to those that have served in the armed forces. Um, it will develop, we plan to develop this initiative in partnership with really like local health providers and veteran service organizations. And some of the things that we want to do is provide mobile healthcare units, um, possibly on-site wellness clinics, to really, again, to the underserved and remote veteran populations that are within our audience. These services could include, things like, things we take for granted, but like primary care, mental health assistance, counseling, telehealth access, holistic wellness programs, things like that. So again, one of the things that we really want to tackle, especially with our veteran population, is kind of the invisible wounds that no one really wants to talk about, including things like PTSD and depression. These things are often they go untreated, and there's a stigma attached to them. And one of the things we want to take on under this Veterans Resiliency Program is to kind of tackle some of that, and take the stigma away from mental health and mental health recovery. So, to answer your question, these are just two programs that I believe reflect the foundation's core mission, meeting the immediate community needs while promoting long-term empowerment and systemic change. And I think we can do it through those two initiatives.
Now, see, this is something in my mind kind of revolutionary in our arena, excuse me. This is to me, I hear like grassroots efforts of change, right? And for somebody like myself, when I hear these things, when I donate or when I pay my dues, I can feel happy when I know that these are the type of programs that are kind of going around. So, and then again, it's going to be a little bit more than just, I mean, giving a dollar or two. I know to get some of these programs off the ground, it's going to take like a lot of work. So, kind of in what ways can members engage the foundation beyond just the donations? Like, you know what I mean? Like whether through service, mentorship, or like, because this is a lot to do, and I know your style. You're not a one man army. You know what I mean? So how can people kind of jump in
Absolutely.
and help? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to need a lot of help. And uh, we really strongly encourage all of our members, from Sublime Princes to inspectors general, grand and sovereign, uh, to contribute not only their financial support, we do a lot of that, but also we want people to donate their time and their talents and their lived experience to really advance our mission. I mentioned earlier that we have tremendous capability within this organization. And one of the things we want to really focus on in the Benevolence Foundation is really tapping into those resources. Um, I'm always amazed at the type of professionals that we have in this organization, and they want to work, and so we're going to put them to work. So, as you know, um, true philanthropy goes beyond donations, right? It also involves active engagement, mentorship, and community service. And those are the things that truly make a difference. The financial support, of course, that goes without saying. But it's these other things that really make the difference in the communities we say we're going to serve. So, one of the most rewarding opportunities, I think, will be our mentorship program, which we will connect members with students and young professionals, especially those from underrepresented backgrounds. So these relationships will offer mentees career guidance, academic support, and personal growth. Um, and I believe that our mentors can share, not only just their financial support, but their wisdom, their networks, and some of their leadership insights. So that's one of the things. So, additionally, let me just talk real quick. We're hopeful to expand our Orient led community service projects, really kind of empowering our Orients to tailor their initiatives to meet the community's specific needs. Things like neighborhood cleanups, literacy and book donation drives, food insecurity programs, excuse me, health and wellness fairs. I think all of these things are things that our members can get involved with. In the Benevolence Foundation, we're going to give our members the opportunity not to just donate financially, but to donate their time, their expertise, and their service so that we can uplift the communities we say we're going to serve.
No. And that's good. Like I said, and this is something that we're seeing that everybody, it sounds like everybody can get in, right? And I say get in where you fit in, right? But sometimes people don't have like $100, $200, $300 to donate, but we can all find like that one Saturday. to be able to offer up our opportunity, or just having a phone call where you do monthly with a young student here to let them know, like, hey, I know times are hard, but you'll make it through. Trust me, because you're in this situation, right? You can do it, right? So again, I think that's going to be pretty awesome. And I like to do in these situations help people understand why it's worthy to put their time into this. And one thing that makes people comfortable is understanding transparency, communication, and the collaboration, right? So, like, how do you plan on being able to keep those three things together between the foundation and its members? So, again, transparency, communication, and collaboration.
Okay. Let me answer that question, but you as you were talking, you spurred a thought, and I just want to share it. Um, you know, everyone that is a part of our United Supreme Council, I believe, has some type of unique gift to give. Some people have professional skills, others a listening ear or a helping hand. Um, and the Benevolent Foundation is going to be committed to building inclusive platforms where these gifts can flourish, grow and flourish. So I think by inspiring the hearts and really the hands that go along with those donations, we can turn our collective potential into real impact. And so you got me thinking a little more that everyone can contribute. And that's the message. And we're going to make sure that we provide avenues so that they can do just that. So let me answer the question about transparency because I think this dovetails perfectly with the last question. So transparency and communication obviously are not just best practices, right? They really are core principles of our benevolent foundation. It's part of the organizational strategy. So in this current climate where trust and accountability are essential, we're really dedicated to keep our members informed, engaged, and empowered to help shape our future. So let me talk about that a little bit. So to accomplish some of these things, here's a couple things. Again, we're just starting this. And for all of you folks that are listening to this, you can help us. This is just a starting point. But some of you are really engaged in other organizations and in your communities, and you can really assist us with some of these things. But let me just kick, touch on a few points. A couple of things we want to do is um, we want to do what we call quarterly impact reports. And so they'll offer detailed updates on all of our programs, our fundraisers, our outcomes, our financial oversight, and our community results. Again, we're all about measuring results. We're going to make these reports. These reports are going to include stories. So we're going to work with the media department to develop stories from the beneficiaries of our finances, our time, our efforts, our professional services. We're going to monitor the progress towards our strategic objectives and provide a complete transparency into how donations and volunteer efforts are making a difference. So we can do a lot of great things, but we need to tell the membership what we're doing and why we're doing it. And we're going to be completely transparent with that. The Benevolent Foundations, one of the things we're brainstorming now, but one of the things I'd like to really do is have open Benevolent Foundation meetings. Uh, Instead of meeting once or twice a year, we're going to meet quarterly or more. We'll have those meetings open to the members, allowing members to observe us, observe the decision-making process, allow the members to submit questions in advance, and really interact with the leadership of the Benevolence Foundation in real time. I believe this transparency will foster a culture of trust and shared responsibility. Another thing, Knight Barrett, that we're working on, We'd like to have a dedicated membership portal. I know that's one of the things that your team's working on. We want to have that membership portal that has, a benevolent foundation linked to it. We would like to see that, where we can centralize um, resources for information and announcements, event registrations, all the things, volunteer opportunities, meeting minutes, all those sorts of things. So we're looking to develop a portal, again, to foster transparency. The last thing, again, and we haven't done this yet, but one of the things I really want to do is virtual town halls. Maybe hold them quarterly. We haven't figured out the battle rhythm on that yet, but let's just say quarterly, really to share the Benevolent Foundation's updates, celebrate milestones, really encourage discussion, look at challenges and opportunities. Really, so these sessions, these virtual sessions, will be to ensure that all of the Orients feel like they're heard and involved with the Benevolent Foundation. Other things, again, there's nothing cosmic about any of these things. Feedback sessions will directly connect the leadership with the members of the Orients. We can do things, those feedback sessions aim to really address any kind of local concerns or programs that are being run out of the Orient that they have specific needs. We can use that. So I think those things are some of the things that we're looking at to make this organization, the Benevolent Foundation, completely transparent to its membership.
Now this is revolutionary. Like I challenge any of those who've been in the organization for 10 years or less, talk to somebody who's been in for 30 or 40 years. These type of things are transformative type of leadership, right? And ideologies and things. And I really like it because again, you're gonna get excited. And hopefully while you guys watch this, you want to kind of dive in and say, hey, where do I see myself? Where can I be able to jump in and kind of
Absolutely.
put up the banner and kind of run with it that's comfortable for me, right? And for some of those who want to be rock stars, get a little uncomfortable, right? Do something that's a little bit out your comfort zone, right? We can
Right.
always use a couple more of those, right? Now, question for you here, director here is, excuse me, president, is these people, they're going to see this, they're going to get excited, they're going to start seeing the transactions happen, the volunteer work going in. How do you plan on highlighting or celebrating the contribution of the fratters and the loyal ladies when it comes to the foundation, right? Like, kind of what are some of those plans?
Again, we're at the infancy level, but let me tell you what we're kind of brainstorming now. So to recognize some of the exceptional work, because I think we're going to get lots of volunteers, and we certainly want to recognize the great work that they're doing. So to recognize some of this work in our organizations, um, here's a couple things we're thinking about doing. Benevolence Foundation Action Awards. That may not be the title, but that's the title that we came up with. Essentially, it's an honors program celebrating outstanding service, innovation, and leadership. So these awards will honor both individual and members of in entire Orients, right? Who exemplify our values through their commitment and their service to the communities. So a couple categories we've thought about. Again, we're at the infancy level, but outstanding individual service. These awards will go to members who have exceeded expectations in their volunteer or mentorship efforts. Another award we're thinking about are Innovative Giving Awards. Those are recognizing creative fundraising or service strategies that achieve measurable results. We're looking at Community Leadership Awards, kind of honoring those individuals who have made a significant difference through civic engagement, really kind of coalition building. And then kind of the last class of awards we're looking at is what we call the Orient of the Year Award.
Mm.
Um, and this will go to the Orient, that demonstrates excellence in aligning with the foundation's mission across all of the programs, outreach and member mobilization. So we're really taking a hard look at awards um, for the recipients. We plan on officially recognizing the recipients in our annual report that'll go out to the membership, on the foundation's social media channels, at major organizational events, right? So all of the CODs, those type of things, including our annual session. So awardees will also be invited to share their experiences, some of their best practices, with the wider membership, kind of working, with the media department, to do engagement with the media department, so that people will have a good understanding of what these recipients have done to garner those awards.
No.
So we've got the awards, and then the other thing we're kind of, again, we're kind of looking. We'd like to launch, again, the name may change, but we're calling it the Orient Impact Spotlights. It's kind of a rotating multimedia feature. So your department will be heavily involved with that. That will really kind of showcase the grassroots projects that are being led by the Orient. There's tremendous amount of work that's being done out in the Orient. We want to spotlight it. We want to give it light, and we want to set a precedent that these things are important that are happening in our Orient. So we want to put some brain cells to that and really work on it. So those are just
No.
two quick ones. So Knight Barrett. So kind of by highlighting some of the great things that are being done, we're hopeful to really inspire others, and then we strengthen our connections and really create, like, what we call visible ambassadors for our United Supreme Council. So we're going to be working hard on those things.
No, and who doesn't like a little bit more hardware, right? So like I'm not going to say that anybody doesn't, right? But this is awesome. Like I said, it's different. I like it, and hopefully the individuals that are listening and watching will get pretty excited. And like I said, it sparks a little bit of competition, right? We do like a little bit of competition, right? In a good way
Yes,
is always going to be helpful. Now,
yes,
last thing that I was thinking about here is going through when I hear about what you're tackling, I know that it's going to be a group effort, right? It's not going to be
yes.
us by ourselves. So I want to know, are there any like partnerships or collaborations that were on the horizon um, that can like either open up doors to the program and the visibility, or maybe it spark some other actions and things of that nature here from the Benevolent Foundation?
That's a great question. So yes, we are actively planning on pursuing partnerships with a variety of mission aligned organizations, to really kind of amplify what it is that we're doing. So these discussions will involve, um, organizations that you're familiar with, some nationally recognized nonprofit coalitions. We're also looking into the feasibility of looking at faith-based community initiatives, and of course, Black-led philanthropic networks, all of which share uh, a similar dedication to equity, empowerment, and systemic change. So our goal is to really create a grant, uh, uh, opportunities in shared service programs with partners, right? So not just having United Supreme Council, but have these grants with other partner organizations, right? So such as, so that we can do things like, grassroots outreach, establish institutional credibility, develop technical expertise. So let me give you an example of what I mean. So when I say we're going to collaborate with faith-based initiatives, we can develop community wellness campaigns with the faith-based initiatives that really combine, spiritual care, practical support, food security, housing advocacy, mental health. The sky's the limit. I think we're going to partner with some of these groups and start taking on some of these things under the umbrella of the Benevolence Foundation. Likewise, some partnerships with like Black-led philanthropic organizations. Uh, it'll enable us to combine resources um, and knowledge, really to promote, culturally responsive giving models and civic engagement. So I really believe in partnership, and I think engaging in those areas would be really beneficial for the members. Um, so kind of summing that up. So I believe through aggressive partnerships, here's a couple things we plan to do. We plan to expand our visibility really on the national stage, right? Not just the local stage, but on the national stage. One of the things we want to do is position our foundation to be a trusted organization, really looking at diverse community actors, right? And then we want to influence the philanthropic narrative um, of Black-led and community-driven impact organizations. And then lastly, I think one of the things that we want to focus on is we want to kind of scale proven models across Orients, right? If something works, we want to scale it across the various Orients so we can have, shared infrastructure and mutual support. So I believe these partnerships, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but we're going to start reaching out to national organizations so that our organization is going to be a national organization in the philanthropic arena.
No, see, these are the things that we like to hear. All right, I'm just gonna put it out there, be direct, because at this point, individuals can one see themselves in the organization. We're impacting people that look like us, and then who doesn't like to get behind like a national brand? Like it's going to be a sense of pride here, and that's what I'm hearing at this point, right? And it's going to take a little bit of time, so I want the brothers and sisters to be just patient with us because Rome wasn't built in a day, right? But understanding the vision, I think, will give us the opportunity to know that, like, hey, when sometimes things get a little bit difficult, like, hey, let's keep marching on because we can reference this video and say, hey, look at this plan that we have, right? The United Spring Council didn't get to this level that it's in right now. Just even thinking about the Prince Hall Elementary School, being able to donate and create that sensory room, right? Like that took like a year of work, really. You know what I mean? From a lot of individuals, a lot of donation, and a lot of sometimes uncomfortable conversations to get the job done, right?
Absolutely.
But it was necessary for the impact that we made, and I guarantee, and I see the social media posts. Everyone was excited to be a part,
Absolutely.
even if you only gave
Absolutely.
$5, that $5 went and bought something for the discreet food pantry. So
It made a difference. Absolutely.
I'm excited.
Well, let me say,
Like I said,
I know we're
yeah, go
getting
ahead.
towards the end, but let me just say these last, conclude with this.
Yeah, of course.
And this is really to all of the members. My message is get involved with the Benevolent Foundation and really become a force for positive change. And the message is your time, it's not just your money, it's your time, your voice, and your support can help bring hope, dignity, and an opportunity for those who need it the most. And I believe, working together, again, we're not going to do all this in one day, but working together, I believe that we can develop something that's just not special, but something that is remarkable. And I believe in that with everything that I am.
No way. Like I said, Sovereign Grand Inspector General Thomas, I appreciate it. And hopefully, like I said, everyone gets motivated and inspired. And the biggest quest or biggest ask is just find some lane that you're positive, that you like to do, that you want to run into, and just do that. Even if it's only once or twice here or there, do all those little small things because I
Absolutely.
guarantee you we would knock out all of these things that we just talked about in this podcast if each of us are taking on one small portion of that mantle, right? So,
Absolutely.
again, I appreciate it so much. I am your host of this Moving Camp podcast. Oh, actually, it's Night Commander. I got to get used to saying that on season 4, right? Night Commander, Stephen Barrett, and I'm enthralled and I'm so fired up to see where we go and as we report this. And when you see us out there, stop by, say, hey, give us some feedback, give us some love. But we're excited for what we're doing for you, and hopefully we're representing you well. And we enjoy this so much. And thank you so much.